Hello and welcome to this short broadcast on the Home Service. This is the voice of Charles Williams, and here is the programme on Tuesday the 23rd of January 1940. Last year, our programme covered the mass evacuation of children from cities to the countryside. Now, you will all be aware that this extremely large operation began on the 1st of September 1939 and was successful in evacuating 1.5 million people. Though a fantastic success, parents and children have found it difficult to adjust to the absence of each other, especially over the recent Christmas period. You will then remember that 2 days later, on the 3rd of September 1939, our Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain announced that Britain was at war with Germany. My studio whiz, Mr. Henry Sterne, will now replay you that most memorable moment.
I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
This speech, of course, came less than a year after Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain had announced peace in our time with the signing of the Munich Agreement and Anglo-German Declaration. Both the mentioned articles were designed to avoid another war between nations, as the Great War had ended less than 20 years previously. In more recent times, since the 8th of January 1940, we have found ourselves as a nation on ration. The newly restricted items, as I'm sure you are all aware by now, is 2 ounces of butter, 8 ounces of sugar, and 4 ounces of bacon. Rather awful if you're a fan of bacon sandwiches in the morning with sugar in your tea. Well, let us all just thank the Lord that tea is not rationed. With the new rationing system, it is imperative to remember that we must all have a little less to ensure that all have some. We do not want to repeat the last war, where we almost became a nation of empty larders and tummies. To help you with the restricted pantries, my wife has written down her favourite recipe for me to share with you all. Now, instead of having lashings of butter on your toast, why not try some Bovril or Marmite? Now, in fact, if you wish to try your hand at being a kitchen goddess like my wife Joan, then here is her recipe. Take a handful of mushrooms, clean and peel them, slice them into pieces and throw them in a pan along with a smidgen of butter on a medium heat. Once they're beginning to look cooked, add a few teaspoons of Bovril or Marmite and mix well. Serve them up on a piece of toast, and there you have it, a scrummy tea-time dish using very little butter. Now, for Christmas, my son Thomas bought me a small anthology of poems. Whilst reading, I came across one about a rabbit, and I knew instantly I would like to share it all with you. So sit back, and here it is. It's entitled The Rabbit. The rabbit has a charming face. Its private life is a disgrace. I really dare not name to you the awful things that rabbits do. Things that your paper never prints. You only mention them in hints. They have such lost, degraded souls. No wonder they inhabit holes. When such depravity is found, it can only live underground. I hope that poem made you smile. Unfortunately, the writer, like so many great poems, is anonymous. Well, that brings me to the end of our short broadcast. This has been a Historical Huzzahs production for the Home Service. All that is left for me to say is thank you very much for listening, and please ensure to abide to your local blackout times, which can be found in your local newspaper or at your nearest air raid precautions post. So to end the programme, I thought it was only fitting after that poem to have the 1939 hit Run, Rabbit, Run, originally written by Noel Coward, but sung this time by our favourite duo, Flanagan and Allen. Thank you again for listening, and from myself and Mr. Sterne, goodbye and God bless.
On the farm, every Friday, on the farm, is rabbit pie day. So every Friday that ever comes along, I get up early and sing this little song. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, 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 run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. So run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, 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 run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. So run, rabbit, run.